Ladies and gentlemen, fellas, welcome into the channel. Today, it's something different little bit of a background if you're watching on the YouTube video, but we're going SuperDraft for the Super Bowl. The big game, the big energy, we're bringing it to you. Quick picks for SuperDraft specific video. First time we're doing that this NFL season because it's the big motherfucking game. So we gotta give you the information, smack you around with it. You know what you're doing here, right? It's a little bit of a different format here for you, but welcome into the channel. Welcome to my new studio, the brick by brick behind me. We're gonna build some more stuff into the studio as we go, but I'm excited to be here. I'm excited. This is what we're going to do. We're going to be going with a stud to own, a stud to fade, the best overall value, the worst overall value based on the SuperDraft multipliers, and then my top overall play we'll give it to you at the end. If you're not familiar with SuperDraft, what are you doing? They got 7-figure and 6-figure price pools. What are you doing? They got contests that are not filling in the NBA almost every single night. They have 5 figures to first place, and they're only filling at 70%. You know what that basically means? It means that if you were to play on DraftKings or any of these other sites that you plan for your DFS or fantasy purposes, or even if you want to relate it to anything else in your life, if there's 100 people, right, treat yourself. If there's 100 people in this contest and 70% of the field is filled, that means 30% of the people are basically putting zeros into their lineup since it's a guaranteed contest. So you're facing less competition for the same amount of money. That's happening often on SuperDraft. They're giving out a ton of overall overlay, a ton of opportunities to just have easier chances to win 5-6 figures this week, right? Big prize pools on SuperDraft now for the Super Bowl, bigger prize pools even more as they partner up with Caesar Rewards for the NBA. Every single night of 5 figures plus now has been the constant for a week or two at this point. So check out SuperDraft down below. I'm excited to kind of break down the strategy of SuperDraft for the Super Bowl. I have complete projections down below. We'll be referencing those. Those will be popping up on the screen along with a bunch of other stuff as you've probably already seen right now on the YouTube version. I encourage you to watch that YouTube version, but SuperDraft, if you have any questions, let me know. It's a multiplier format. So for example, today, Patrick Mahomes, if he was to go out there and have 25 fantasy points, he has a 1x multiplier, he gets 25 fantasy points. It's as simple as that, 1x. But, and this is a big old booty, Mr. Thomas Brady with a 1.2x multiplier. If he was to go out there and score 25, he'd get an extra 20% because of that 1.2x multiplier. So you can play whoever you want. There's no salary cap, but it's a multiplier format. The strategy comes from understanding the multiplier in the projections, and as always, game theory of how many people are going to play this mother right here. So you want to use the promo code SAL. You'll find it linked down below in the description. Use that code SAL. You'll get a free money bonus up to $500 Rooskies. They'll match you in a slow drip format, so check it out. Again, my name's Sal. Let them know that you came from me. Get in for the big prize pools and continue to play for the NBA. We have content here as well. Let's get into it right now. We're going to start it off with who I believe is the stud that you want to be owning this week, and that man's name is Travis Kelce, who has a 1.3x multiplier over on SuperDraft. Travis Kelce with a 1.3x multiplier, that's comical. It's comical. He should not be getting any bonus points. Travis Kelce to me should be a 1x multiplier this week. Kelce currently sits as my highest projected player over on SuperDraft at 29.25. You can check down below if you want to follow along. 29.25 SuperDraft points. And here's just a breakdown of it. He's going to have a fantastic matchup this week. His positive matchup advantage is plus 69% against Devin White. He's been great coming off the AFC Championship game of 13 overall catches, over $115 in yards, and 2 tutties on 15 motherfucking targets. You didn't have Jamel Dean earlier in the season when Tyreek Hill torched him for 200 yards in the first quarter. So if they're going to try and bracket Tyreek Hill like they've done with Devontae Adams twice this season, most notably the Bucs in their last game, the NFC Championship game, and then you bring pressure, what's that going to do? The Bucs are basically going to say, you know what, you can beat us with Travis Kelce. If he's got 115 yards, but we can somewhat contain Tyreek Hill, we think that maybe, just maybe, we can limit you to only like 26 points in this game, and then we can get our 28, and we can walk home with another Super Bowl for Mr. Thomas Brady. And that's the narrative that I'm going to be going with. Now, Tyreek Hill goes in the slot a lot, so they won't be able to bracket all that often, but look, Travis Kelce already has the matchup advantage, and you can't double team a tight end. You want to double team any type of a player, maybe you bracket with a safety over a Tyreek Hill, over another elite wide receiver like Devontae Adams. You want to bracket a tight end in the middle of the field, Tyreek Hill one-on-one on the outside against Carlton Davis again, like he did for 40% of the game and went for 200 yards on him earlier this season against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yeah, you're not going to survive that. You're not going to survive this game if that's the case. So give me Travis Kelce as our stud to own on SuperDraft. Again, the 1.3x multiplier means that I have him currently projected out as my highest projected SuperDraft play. Now, who is the stud that I want to fade? And when I say I want to fade this player, it doesn't necessarily mean that they have a bad projection, just relative to some other studs, they might not have the greatest projection, and relative to probably what you're going to be seeing from their multiplier and even ownership, it's something that I'll probably try to get away from. Now, the quote-unquote stud, based on having a lower multiplier, right, a relatively lower multiplier for me, that guy that I'll get away from is Mr. Leonard Fournette at a 1.75x multiplier. He's still below that 2x multiplier, 3x multiplier range for me to consider it a quote-unquote stud, I'm going to get away from this because in the last couple of weeks, we've seen Ronald Jones' touches start to come up as he's getting healthier. Has he done anything with them? No, he's done jack shit with them. 3.4 yards per carry, but he's had 23 attempts compared to Leonard Fournette's 29. Fournette can get there in the passing game. He can do that. Yes, that's for sure. That's a thing that can happen for Mr. Leonard Fournette. But Ronald Jones is cutting into that backfield usage. 44%, very quietly, 44% of the postseason carries Ronald Jones has had this season. And by this season, the past 2 games. But that's at least noteworthy. That's at least worth mentioning. And now Leonard Fournette, he's going to be having a nice matchup in this one, but there's the concerns about them playing from behind. Leonard Fournette overall is going to have a positive 41% run blocking advantage, but so will Ronald Jones. I have them projected to split the carries in this game. Leonard Fournette more routes run, of course. He's had 47 to Ronald Jones 10 over the last 2 games. But I have them projected to each see about 10 to 11, 10.5 is my exact number, touches on the ground in this game. Leonard Fournette is a very nice 1.75x multiplier, and it's not an awful projection on SuperDraft of 22.5, but if he's going to come in somewhere around like the 30+% own mark, I have him currently on DraftKings projected for 32%. You can follow all this down below. He's going to be the quote-unquote stud, the guy below a 2x multiplier today, that low multiplier signifying they're a quality player that I'm going to be getting away from this week, and maybe in favor of just getting to a little bit more Ronald Jones. All right, fellas. Next up, the best value. These guys that we're looking at who have a very, very nice multiplier above 2x. My favorite value play this week is pretty easily Sammy Watkins. He's underpriced everywhere. On DraftKings, in the player prop market. He's underpriced on SuperDraft. He's underpriced. He's being undervalued in every market because of his injury that he's been hurt since week 16. I don't understand it. You don't think that the Super Bowl, the game that they've been trying to play for their entire life, that this guy's going to come out and try to play through it, play through your injuries? He's been practicing in a limited fashion the last week or so. He's going to play through this. He has all offseason to kind of recover himself. A Super Bowl quote-unquote hero for them last year, the big game at the end, the big catch at the end of it against Richard Sherman, Sammy Watkins has a 2.4x multiplier. Sammy Watkins for me right now is my number 6 overall SuperDraft play, and he's my best play out of all the guys with a 2x multiplier or higher. He projects out currently for me for 25.2 points. Again, he's going to come in questionable with that calf, but I'm expecting him to play based on this video. And in the regular season, he averaged about 5.5 targets per game, but he was fifth in the entire NFL in target separation at 2.18 yards of target separation. You can see it on the screen right now if you're watching on the YouTube version, of 14% target share. This is a guy who's ran 34 or more routes in each of his past 5 games that he's been out there and healthy for. He's a starting receiver, and he's used in the red zone. A lot of upside at this 2.4x multiplier for Mr. Sammy Watkins today. That is who is my favorite value play today. Now, before we get into my favorite overall pick, and before we even get into that, the worst value play, yet again, just a reminder that down below you can find SuperDraft, the link there, and you could use that code SAL to sign up and test out these waters. Any questions, just let me know in the comment section. That promo code SAL, simply SAL, lets them know that you come from me. When you sign up, it'll say, do you have any type of a bonus, so we can give you some free dollar bills, y'all, dollar Ruskies, and you'll say, oh yeah, we know Sal. And they'll say, oh, you know Sal? Here's free money up to $500 Ruskies, depending on how much you enter slow drip format. So check it out down below, all the information in the description. Now, the value play that I don't like, the value play that I'm not liking at all right now, and obviously I can say, Le'Veon Bell, right? Because he's going to get like 1 touch in this game, if that, right? Maybe 2 touches. Tyler Johnson. I'm not going to say those types of names, right? We're not going to give you the guys that nobody wants to play at all. We're going to try and give you some guys that I just don't think are going to make for that great of a play, but they have a name behind them, and they're probably going to pick up ownership. The guy that I don't like, the guy that I'm not going to be going to, is Mr. Rob Gronkowski, and this is a flip. It's going to depend on your sites. Just like you want to shop the props and shop the betting market for the right price for the right site for you, same thing for DFS. DraftKings, Gronk, $3,000, sure, I like that. But over here on SuperDraft at just a 2.3x multiplier, it's tough for me to get there. Rob Gronkowski ranks outside of my top 10 SuperDraft plays, and he's borderline outside of my top 15 SuperDraft plays on a 1-game slate. I currently have Gronk projected for 15.2 SuperDraft points. That's not good at all. Some guys I have ahead of him, Darrell Williams, Cameron Brate. Some of the kickers I have ahead of him. Yes, the kickers actually have nice multipliers over on SuperDraft. They are more so in play there than they ever will be for me on DraftKings. Gronk's likely going to see Damian Wilson, who he has a positive 57% matchup in, and he's been running 21 routes per week in the postseason. The problem is he just isn't seeing the usage. Now, they played in some cold weather stadiums like Chicago and Green Bay, so maybe that's part of it. But the other bigger part of it is even if he does a decent game, even if he has a higher projection than I think he will, the multiplier is not good enough for him. A 2.3x multiplier, Gronk should be a little bit higher of a multiplier. He had just 1 catch on 1 target, a tight end screen last game in the NFC Championship. And he's been hit or miss this year, had a quality game when they're playing from behind against Kansas City earlier this year, but it seems like Cameron Brate has been the more downfield tight end, especially during the postseason. And it all comes down to the analytics in terms of that 2.3x multiplier. I'm going to be fading that. Again, Gronk for me, only 15.2 SuperDraft points this week. And now drum roll, please. Get ready, sit back, relax, max all cool. Crack your neck, crack your knuckles. Knuckles, we're getting into who I believe, taking everything into account, is going to be the #1 play this week in terms of SuperDraft. And that means taking into account the multiplier, the projection, the overall game theory of, will this guy be highly owned? And if he is highly owned, will it not matter as much because he's just that solid of a play and that ownership won't come in a massive amount? It's appropriate or maybe even lower owned. Now, that man for me is a wide receiver. Who's it going to be, Sal? Is it motherfucking Tyreek Hill, Sal? You're just going to give us motherfucking, oh, okay, you want to give us Michael Evans? Who is it going to be, Sal? Let us know. My favorite overall play this week on SuperDraft. He comes in with a beautiful, with an L in there, beautiful 1.65x multiplier. His name is Mr. Christopher, I don't know your middle name, Godwin. Chris Godwin with a 1.65x multipliers overall projection-wise, my #3 projected player in the slate. But factoring in the ownership, factoring in that beautiful multiplier that if he just does a little bit more, he's going to grade out even better, right? I have him for 28.2 points, only a point off of Travis Kelce for the highest projected guy. But the upside is beautiful because Kelce, just a 1.3x multiplier, Godwin a 1.65x. So every additional point Godwin gets, he's getting 35% extra points compared to Kelce. That's upside. So his ceiling is massive, and it's easier to hit because of that bonus. Godwin will have a positive 47% matchup in the slot against L'Jarius Sneed, who has been cleared for this game to play. Sneed has been quality this year, but so has Godwin. Now, Godwin in the NFC Championship saw 9 targets. He has to see the volume. Godwin's probably not going to be a guy who gets you there on 5 targets, barring a 2-touchdown game. He'll have to see that volume, but lucky for him, he has all season long. He's been averaging so far this year over 5 receptions per game. He's been averaging a 19% overall target share and 7 targets per game. Again, in that last game, 5 catches, 110 yards against the Green Bay Packers in the NFC Championship game on 9 targets. There's consistency here at a 77.4% catch rate, and he's number 13th in the entire NFL in yards per target, meaning that he is being targeted downfield, especially for a big slot receiver, and that's great. He's going to have the upside over some smaller size like L'Jarius Sneed slot cornerbacks, and in this game, I like the upside there. I like the upside downfield, even in the middle of the field for him. Even with Antonio Brown back, he's projecting out beautifully on SuperDraft for 28.22 fantasy points. He is my #1 best overall top play on SuperDraft this week for the Super Bowl. Take advantage of it. Get into SuperDraft. Put that code SALIN and get yourself some free $1 bonuses. If you want a chance for a free ticket as well this weekend, if you leave a podcast review on the Sal Vetri Show, wherever you want to leave it, Apple preferably, it's easier to leave it over there. You leave a podcast review, you screenshot it to me and email it to me, vetrimedia19@gmail.com, or you just go over to Twitter and DM me it. I will put you into a raffle, and it's a pretty good chance. I have 20 tickets to give away, and only like 30 people have entered to this point, so you have a pretty damn good chance at getting a free ticket. That's an additional promo and little plug for all you beautiful people out there. So thank you for tuning into this video. If you want to see all the projections for SuperDraft and other sports and ownership and things like that, linked down below on my Patreon. You can find it in the description, and also to sign up for SuperDraft, the link is down there. Like, subscribe before you go. Hey, stay safe this weekend. Enjoy that motherfucking Super Bowl. Gore your face filled with beautiful football food. Your nachos, your pulled pork, your wings, your pizza, whatever you want. Your alcoholic beverages. And if you're not into that type of stuff, drink some water. Stay hydrated. Have a beautiful weekend, everybody. Enjoy the big game. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Keep your big energy up. And I'll see you all in the next one. Monday morning, we got some more information to schmack you with. Get some ice for all the schmacked of information you got in this video, right? Get some ice on your face, get the swelling down a little bit. Hopefully we didn't hurt you too much. But get ready for Monday morning. More schmacks coming. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you then. Enjoy your weekend.